Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Mexican Soccer Show 2015 Awards. First, here's your host, Wiso Vasquez. Welcome to another edition of the Mexican Soccer Show, a special edition of the Mexican Soccer Show with the 2015 annual awards.
So I can't see you.
Our producers really put me in there. I'm ready to go. Get ready to start this thing. Come on, let's get this going. There it is. Welcome, welcome everyone. Yes, we're all dressed up, ready for this event. We have the whole crew here. Have everyone ready to go. I hope you are not watching anything else but us. You're sitting there on your computer and you have the chat going on. But let's say hello to everyone, our guests, our presenters. The music just keeps going on. I am pumped. Mr. Tom from Guadalajara, ready to go. Look at you, green tie. How's it going?
It's going good, Wiso. Looking forward to the old awards. See who's going to take them home and see who's going to go home the drunkest. My money's on Cesar.
Mr. Naive Moran, who is now in Mexico City, looking sharp. We did see that you came in with Megan Fox today. Where is she? Did she not make it to the show? We saw you on the red carpet.
No, she didn't make it to the show. She's in Ciudad Universitaria. Where they're still they're actually. I saw a lot of Puma shirts today in Mexico City. You know, it was a tough loss for the team, but a really epic result yesterday in Ciudad Universitaria.
Nice. Johnny Rico in San Diego, Tijuana area. Johnny Rico all dressed up. We all would have thought you would have gotten, it had the America tux. I don't know if you have one with, the eagle, blue, yellow, but you went with purple, green, and what looks like a very minty tie.
Yeah, it's Christmas, so I had to throw on the Christmas colors.
Magenta red and mint green, everybody.
That's right. Christmas.
Jason Markowitz.
Hello.
Looking sharp in his suits. Classic. How's it going?
It's going, and I'm excited to be here. Looking forward to the after party. It's gonna be a great night.
Great. There is after party, and if you don't know him, Mr. Ivan, he'll be helping us out today with all of the social media. He's been tweeting polls here and there. I'll definitely have his voice. Mr. Ivan in Los Angeles. How's tonight treating you?
It's pretty cold out.
We'll go over to Cesar Hernandez, looking sharp with that gray suit.
Oh, thank you.
Cesar looks like a commentator about to talk about a game or with the headphones and the tie. Looking good.
Yeah. Oh, well, thank you. I mean, like most other commentators, I'm drinking, a little bit of champagne during the match. Yeah, doing well. I'm excited to be here. Got my little ice cube wine glass right there, and excited to give out these awards. I'm looking forward to this. Like I told you guys, I've genuinely been excited about this for the past 4 or 5 days. So let's do this. Yeah.
Hey, don't tell people how long it takes us to plan a show.
And you know her as Soccer Canales on Twitter. It's Andrea Canales joining us in this special occasion to give her commentary and also be part of this awesome show tonight. Andrea, how are you?
I'm doing well. Glad to be here.
All right. Well, there it is, guys. The cast of the Mexican Soccer Show. I'm going to go ahead and start what it is, this drink that I've made. It kind of looks a little watery right now, but we're going to have a little spice to it and put in a pepper because that's just how we roll.
We have a 10-year-old.
All of you, hopefully.
10-year-old watching, by the way.
Hopefully, many of you guys are on the chats from Guelito, Janet Garcia, Nayeli, Antonio Ruiz, all of you guys. There's a lot of people watching us right now saying hello. We'll go ahead and get started right away with the first annual Mexican Soccer Show awards. So let's go ahead and get started. how it's going to go, we're going to have a few presenters, 5 awards total, and we'll be talking about each award, a little bit of commentary between Andrea and the guys. We'll also have a live Twitter poll that Mr. Ivan has already tweeted out. So so we don't know the results on those yet, but we'll be talking about it later on in the night. So the awards, if you haven't voted, you have time to vote in these 3 awards. And we'll be looking at the chat from the YouTube page. We'll also be looking at the Twitter votes already, and they already went out. So we have the Game of the Year, and we give you choices because who knows what they're going to give us if we ask for 5 different Games of the Year. But the Game of the Year, it's between the 2. Obviously, Mexico beating the U.S., Tuca at helm in L.A. for the CONCACAF Cup with the golazo of Paola Aguilar. That game that didn't go into penales. And then, obviously, yesterday's dramatic, probably one of the best finals in the history of Liga MX. I know there's a big discussion on another game, but we'll just give those 2 games of the year, guys. Please vote right now on Twitter. Tell us what the best game was. If you're on the chat, you can do both. You can do it on the chat, or you can do it on Twitter, and we'll go ahead and read the results. The other category that you can vote right now is Highlight of the Year. Now, about Highlight of the Year, it's all about what was the best highlights, and the category is a little bit tricky, but we gave Chicharito's current run of Bayer Leverkusen as one of the categories, what he's doing, the records that he's setting, all the goals. The PSV tribute to Andrés Guardado, the Fire Eagle, which was awesome to see right before the end of the season, and then Paola Aguilar's golazo at the extra time in not to send it into the penales. So those are the 3 categories. Just go ahead and tweet us at the Mexican Soccer Show, and we'll read the winners. And then one last category, which should be pretty fun to see, is the funny moment of the year. Funny moment of the year. Our 3 choices are the U20s when they did that awesome bicycle celebration, if you remember that. The other nomination is Thomas Boy, his dance. That's another one that was in there. And ultimately, the last one, Tuca hiding behind the bench. Was that a funny moment or not? So please, guys, go out and vote. Give us what you think those 3 funny moments are, and we'll be reading. If you want to put a little commentary of why you chose it, we might pick you to read it. If you don't, we'll just count your votes. But it should be a lot of fun.
It wasn't nominated, but I kind of like an Israel Jimenez picture that's circulating social media.
Yes, we can't show you that this is all show, but maybe in Johnny Rico's corner of his own show that he'll be starting soon.
That's shady, dark, scary corner from Johnny Rico.
Will be fun. So that's what's happening today, but we'll go ahead and already get started. Lots of you already on the chats. So making sure that we're all talking about the Mexican Soccer Show. Appreciate you guys joining us today, especially after an amazing final. And then obviously thanks to all of our presenters for not only showing up, but showing up with some class, the ties, the suits. Everyone looks great. This is a great show. So let's go ahead and get started. For the first award, I'll give it over to Mr. Tom Marshall. Tom, take it away. What are we presenting? Here we go.
Yep. First award tonight is Team of the Year. Obviously, Mexico 2 championships every 6 months. So yeah, a few of the contenders for me. I thought Veracruz had an exceptional year. They made the playoffs twice. The budget obviously is nowhere near as big as the other teams, but and they moved away from that relegation. So yeah, massive year for Veracruz. Let's not forget Santos Laguna, who won the Clausura 2015. I think if they had a better season, they would be really pushing for this award, but they were really poor. And also with Santos Laguna, don't forget under 20s and under 17s champions in the Apertura. So important for the club that. Other ones, Mexico's under 17s, another World Cup semi-final. I think that's a lot of merit in that. The youth system continues to produce these good youth teams. And then the national team. I mean, it might be weird that this is that such a positive, but I think that when you look at heading into 2015, what Mexico wanted from this year was the Gold Cup win. Check that box, victorious. And then reaching the Confederations Cup, well, yeah, they did that. They beat the United States and Russia 2017, and then start positively with the with World Cup qualifying. So on the face of it, there was so much controversy, and Miguel Herrera's throwing punches, and so much stuff that went in between. 3 managers again. So it was a crazy year on one side, but on the other side, they got the job done. And I think a special shout out to FC Juarez, who won the Ascenso. Difficult times for that city over the last few years, but the team disappeared. Los Indios disappeared, but now they're back and they're going to be fighting for a place in the Liga MX. However, there's one team I think that has stood out, not just on the field but off the field, for continually to highlight the positives of the Liga MX. And can we get a bit of a drum roll whistle? Tigres. Team of the year is Tigres. Just quickly, obviously Sunday night they got a bit lucky in the end to get past Pumas in an absolutely crazy final. But this is a team who've gone out there, spent big money, brought in players like you've got a goalkeeper who plays for Argentina, you've got a striker who plays for France, you've got players like Guido Pizarro, you've got Mexico national teamers like Jurgen Damm Aquino. Everywhere you look on the field for Tigres, there's quality. Copa Libertadores final, all right, they didn't make that next step, but reaching the final is a big achievement for a Mexican club, and then obviously winning the Apertura in, I think, some style. Obviously there was a blip on Sunday, but I think they deserve team of the year, no doubt. America, I think they were another one up there, but at the end of the day, they won the CONCACAF Champions League and nothing else. So I think Tigres, and I think it's by some distance as well.
Is Tigres that team that lost 4-1 yesterday?
Hey, I didn't do the voting. These are
That's okay. I chose Tigres as well. So,
no,
let that be known.
I chose Tigres based on the Copa Libertadores solely on Copa Libertadores.
Andrea Canales with the official commentary. Speaking for the people, Tigres, is that...
Yeah, I have to say that Tigres is definitely the team in the hearts of the people right now, because they brought in players, like Tom was mentioning, to really build up a squad that is actually becoming a little bit known worldwide with the international players that they have. And Johnny is also right. The Copa Libertadores run that they had where they made the final, that really captured the attention to have a team from Mexico represent right up to the final. And they could have won it. And yes, even though they lost yesterday, the fact that Gignac was there to score that goal, to put away that penalty with authority, so that Tigres could finally, shed that, Cruz Azul stigma of always coming in second.
Wrong podcast.
Come on now. What is happening here?
How's it going there, Jason?
It's not going well.
So that they can finally claim their 4th league title. I really think not only was that a sigh of relief for all Tigres fans, but a lot of people really felt that it was well-deserved given the overall quality and consistency of the squad throughout the year. Good call.
Good call. The people have spoken. If you don't know how the voting was done, Naive Moran, how was the voting done this year, first year with the awards? If you want to tell us a little bit about how.
Yeah. So I think all the contributors to the show sent in their votes. There was 3 options for each category. And then we also asked the fans, the audience, that are probably watching the show right now to participate as well. And you see a variety of different observations, a wide variety, but they're all welcome, and you get a good gist of what the audience actually looks at. So I think overall the first one that we did, it went out pretty well. Thanks for the participation from the.
Thank you. Yeah.
Well, there you go, guys. This is democratic process. We didn't doctor any votes. This is exactly how the people wanted to vote. I mean, what kind of corrupt system do you think we are with somebody saying that These are already doctored. Fun times with the chat on what's going on. But we'll go ahead and get ready for our next presenter. You already know him, Mr. Naib Moran, who just talked a little bit about the votes. But Naib, go ahead and tell us a little bit about the next award.
Yeah, so we got the Liga MX Coach of the Year category. It's been an interesting one. Among the selected or the picked, a name that stood out was Matias Almeida, who led Chivas to the Copa MX. Let's see what happens with Almeida in the 2016 Clausura, but it really caught my attention that we saw Almeida among the selected. Vucetich was another name that stood out. He came into the half of the season with Querétaro and then led Querétaro to a final, which they lost against Club Santos Laguna, coached by Pedro Caixinha, who was also another coach that was mentioned. But as we know, Caixinha left in the middle of the season of the Apertura. The top three, the first one, third place, Reynoso. Reynoso from Veracruz. Tom mentioned Veracruz is a team that qualified to the Liguilla. Not typical to see los Tiburones Rojos reach the Liguilla in consecutive seasons. I think it was like the first time in this year, with great pickups in the transfer windows. Furch being one of the main ones. Second place, Guillermo Vázquez Jr., who led Pumas to another final, almost close to La Octava, fell short, gave an impressive performance yesterday. I would say yesterday was one of Vázquez's best games as a coach, but unfortunately he didn't finish with the title. And the winner in 2015 for Liga MX Coach of the Year, el señor Ricardo Tuca Ferretti.
Oh, there you go. Tiger.
Tuca, he was basically a bombero kind of away with El Tri. He came in and led the team over there in the CONCACAF Cup. But one of the special things with Tuca Ferretti this season is that I think we saw a lot of the human aspect from Tuca Ferretti, because we usually saw him as this grumpy coach that was always sort of mad, but this season I think we were able to see the human Ferretti, cracking jokes and doing a lot of sort of things that we never imagined see him do. And I think what he did with Tigres this season was great. The only asterisk is the Copa Libertadores final, because in my opinion, River Plate wasn't the best at its best, and it still defeated Tigres. But they got the championship yesterday, and that sort of seals it. Tuca Ferretti, one of the persons of the year in Mexican football.
Herrera didn't make the person of the year. Oh, Liga MX. I'm sorry. Andrea,
I have to say that I would give it to Tuca for what he did with El Tri. With Tigres, I'm not so sure, because honestly, the Copa Libertadores final, as Naib mentioned, River weren't that strong, and I really thought that Tigres could have done better. And yesterday, it kind of showed me again that sometimes Tuca can be a little timid. He went very defensive, and it seemed like he kind of lacked a little bit of faith in his team. And if it wasn't for, Gignac and his great goal towards the end there, heck, if it wasn't, as Tom pointed out, if it wasn't for that red card, that second yellow that Herrera got for Pumas, I mean, the story could have been very different. It could have finally been Vázquez, the student, surpassing the master, because Vázquez put together a great tactical plan to counteract Tigres in the second leg. And it almost worked. It came so close. So, but you're right. We got to see a side of Tuca. Remember when he had that bet with the Mexico players about shaving his mustache? The human side of him, for sure. But maybe the human side of him still gets a little bit freaked out when he has a championship final, because that's where I've seen him make some mistakes that are a little bit uncharacteristic. And I hope that he's able, because he has so much talent with Tigres, and I really think that this team can kind of make Mexican football known across the world. And but he has to have that, ice cold in his veins when it comes to performing in championship finals. Just a little bit more.
Well, there it is. The commentary from Andrea Canales. And sorry for the producers if the music starts playing. I think we just got to keep wrapping it up just like in regular shows. So,
it's like the actual. Oh, man, we should have known that. You played that music like 5 minutes ago. I didn't realize we had to start wrapping up that early, man.
It's not me. It's the producers. I'm just kidding. There we go. Looking over to Mr. Ivan. You know him at Afrozander. Ivan, are you there? What's going on? Tell us what's going on in the social. What are people talking about the show? Anything on the questions or on the chat that was worth mentioning?
There's a lot going on. So for Game of the Year, we've got 54% voting for the Mexico-USA game. Then we've got, let's see, highlight of the year. So far, it's pretty close between Chicha Dios and Paula Aguilar's Golazo. With what else featured a little bit far behind. Yeah. And then winning so far by a huge margin for the funniest moment of the year is Kuka hiding behind the bench. He's at 67%.
Nice. Good. Well, if you don't like the results so far, go ahead and keep tweeting. Ivan is on the polls, and then he'll be also looking at the chats.
I suggest they go vote. They go vote and they go create multiple Twitter accounts so they can have multiple votes.
Up to 10.
Follow us with all accounts.
Up to 10 votes, please, is the limit. All right, guys. Well, we're going to keep going. It's already almost half of the show, and we're right there. Mr. Johnny Rico will give us the next category. Johnny, tell us a little about the category and obviously the winners and losers.
All right. Well, there was a lot of losers. I think. There's clearly only one winner.
Please tell us the category first, sir.
Category is that one on my screen, the best Liga MX player of the year.
All right.
So I think let me pull up the results. There's a lot of losers. So in third place, third place we have someone who lost the final yesterday. Bad enough he loses the final yesterday. Now he loses this category. Ismael Sosa from Pumas. He had a pretty decent season. He contested for this title for the best Liga MX. Number 2, I definitely do not agree. I think he should be way down there with the rest of the losers.
Not booing against Johnny, not booing against who this award winners. Continue, Johnny. I'm sorry.
This is a goalkeeper. I myself voted for goalkeepers at number 2 and number 3. Not this particular goalkeeper though. It's Alfredo Talavera from Toluca gets the silver medal in this category. And now for the moment you were all waiting for Johnny's person to be awarded. That is technical difficulty. That guy. Andre. There we go. Yeah, well-deserved title for Gignac. I hate the French though. But well-deserved.
Now's not a good time to say that, but.
Monsieur Gignac.
Yeah, I know it's not popular, but anyway. 6 months in the league, wins the championship with Tigres. I voted for number 2 for another guy who spent six months in the league and won a championship in Marchesín. But let's hear what the people say.
The people
have spoken.
Yeah, people have spoken, and everyone is eating croissants and freedom fries in honor of Gignac because oh my gosh, this guy shows up from France and he scores goals like that beautiful sideways bicycle. It was like scissor bicycle combination, and basically he's the one who saved Tigres' bacon in the final. right when Pumas looked like their momentum was unstoppable, and it was him setting the tone with the penalties. Also with the penalty in the first leg. I mean, Gignac went out there and he got it done. He handled it, and I really think he also kind of changed the perception of Mexican players or of playing in Mexico for people in Europe, because now they don't see it as something just as an option for South Americans and Argentines and Brazilians and Ecuadorians and Colombians. It's more of a thing of, look how well Gignac is playing. He's still on the French national team. Maybe we could consider that an option. It's warm in Mexico, and hey, I speak Spanish already. I think Gignac is going to be the first of a wave from Europe.
I was happy to see Sosa get some votes as well.
There we go.
I think he was like top 5 or 6 in goals scored in each of the tournaments this season. Up there in assists each season as well. Really consistent, really important for Pumas. A big part of why they're so successful this season as well. So it was good that he got some love in the voting as well.
Also, Johnny, come on, you argue against Talavera?
That guy had a better year than Talavera.
I mean, considering this season, I think Talavera has been one of the most consistent goalkeepers for the past
who didn't
at least couple years.
Tell me now what's a better year than Talavera.
I couldn't understand.
I
blame your internet.
Game.
Yeah.
There were other 2 mentions real quick. Mauro Boselli was among the selected from the people, and also Guido Pizarro, who I think was the top midfielder in Liga MX, and you could say all throughout 2015 in the Clausura and in Apertura, certainly.
Yeah, quick shout out for Omar Bravo as well.
Yep.
It's not every year that a player breaks a scoring record at one of Mexico's biggest clubs, and he did that. He's absolutely led the team from the front, scored a lot of goals. He's been absolutely amazing. I think he's like 35, so I think he's been he deserves at least a mention. Although I don't think he's in the up there with Gignac just quite yet. But you never know. Next couple of years he might develop.
Omar Bravo. Yeah. Never know.
It'd be kind of fun to have like a not so Mexican award, like the Razzies, but for Mexican.
Not
soccer.
so Mexican sounds like somebody who's that's
That'd be kind. No. That's just kind of like, for example, the worst team of the year. The worst Liga MX player. That'd be kind of the worst moment for. It'd be kind of fun to have like the Razzies for.
Next week.
Joel Wiki.
The Joel Wiki Award, yo. The Joel Wiki Award.
Joel Wiki Award.
You just name an award, the Joel Wiki Award. Oh man, what if he's watching?
He's not watching.
All right.
Maybe Andres Eduardo is watching, and he knows we're doing Andres Awardados. So. I'm still saying these are the words. I'm calling them the Andres Awardados.
The Andres Awardados. They're right here. This is the actual award. We ordered it on Amazon and it's not here yet, so that's why we couldn't give official awards. So hopefully when we get here, we'll go ahead and get that vote. We're going to keep going and get started. Mr. Jason, with the next award, Jason Markowitz, take it away.
Yes, I'm happy to present the U23 Player of the Year. And being that we're talking about youth football here, so we'll start with some consolation prizes, some participation awards. And third place, no trophy, but just honorary mention, would be Dados Lopez. The Chivas player gave Chivas fans something to be excited about this season. Didn't have a lot. We won't be talking much more Chivas during this show, but there's a little shout out for all of the Rolly Blancos out there. And number 2, Irving Lozano, Pachuca player. Probably the most exciting player in Liga MX at this time. Just so dynamic. Just still 20 years old. Bright future for L3. Just super exciting player. But he's not the winner of this trophy, and that would have to be this guy right here. No big surprise. Tecatito Corona, the meteoric rise. Yes. The meteoric rise for Tecatito from Monterrey, just being that player we saw who was streaking down the wings, just seeming like, okay, so much potential, but can he make that next step? He goes to Twente, and he takes that next step, and a massive step in scoring goals hand over fist. And then this season, moving to Porto and making that next leap, playing Champions League football and just constantly stepping up levels and stepping up his game along the way, each way, just meeting expectations along the way. The future is bright with Mexico, with this player, and for Tecatito Corona. So he is our winner tonight.
No complaints there. Is anybody actually going to disagree with the fact that Tecatito won this? Because it'd be, I don't know. I can't imagine it being wrong.
I disagree with third place. I wanted Henry Martin.
There's not even a choice for argument.
I think there's a lot of contenders here as well. I think you had Eric Gutierrez in there, you know, the Pachuca, Pizarro as well, and
Rocky Lozano.
yeah, so you know, and Carlos Salcedo as well was in there. So I think there was obviously Jesus Corona's ahead of all them guys, and he's for me, he's showing all of them the way. I mean, his path has been absolutely brilliant from Monterrey to Twente and now on to Porto. It's been, you know, all of those guys, Lozano, Gutierrez, all of them should be looking at him, and Deditos Lopez as well. I think they should all be hopefully following that path and getting as many first team minutes as possible, and hopefully big European team, Champions League.
There it is. Andrea Canela, the people. Good choice.
I have to say that going back to this summer and at CONCACAF Cup, I mean, the buzz in the press box was all about Tecatito. Even when I was walking up to the stadium, talking to people, the fans arriving, who they were most excited about, it was Tecatito. I mean, they really want him to play a bigger part with the national team. He's such an exciting player. He doesn't always fit in whatever formation a coach may have in mind, but I do think that that's going to be a real test of Juan Carlos Osorio, the new El Tri coach, how well he finds a way to bring Tecatito along, because he really is one of the most exciting young talents that Mexico has had in a while. He's great.
There it is.
Phenomenal goal he scored in Honduras, by the way. Phenomenal.
Yeah, agreed. And he's been scoring phenomenal goals recently for Porto as well, which is something you definitely have to recognize. Yeah.
All right. Well, guys, we'll go over to Mr. Ivan again to give us a little update. Anything has changed on the live questions and the polling for the game of the year, the highlight of the year, or the funny moments? Mr. Ivan, if you are there, it's going in and out. Maybe not.
No.
He'll come back.
Just how busy the polls are. You have to leave the show.
It's hard work.
Count them by hand.
Taking care so much, you know, of going in and out. All right, but we'll keep going. Before we have the last award, maybe, you know, it's funny to mention some other awards that were given out by fans that from the show. So Pancho Villa's Army kind of gave a little bit about an award to kind of to be kind of funny and give us some awards towards us. So I'll read a couple of them that they said, which I think is hilarious. Best beard, none other than Mr. Cesar Hernandez.
I trimmed yesterday. I'm so sorry. I had actually probably one of the biggest beards I've going on in a while, and just yesterday I decided to trim. So I'm so sorry, Pancho Villas, and all the fans.
That's Naib Moranga's second place on that.
You know, everybody's been talking about Naib's game with his facial. So
no love for the chin strap.
All right, Andrea Canales winning best female guest of the year. And then said only female guest maybe, but yay.
Wait, didn't we have Kim Tate at one point? So Andrea actually.
But
oh, okay. Then there's got to be a recount because I voted for Kim Tate.
All right, guys, and we got some other funny ones for the show, but we'll keep on going with these. We'll go Mr. Cesar with our last award that we're polling it. Go ahead, Mr. Cesar, the commentator. El Doctor. Go ahead.
Profe Cesar aquí. All right. Really exciting stuff. This is the Mexican national team player of the year. This is the award you've all been waiting for. If we were watching the Oscars, this would be the movie, or the movie of the year. It'd be the director of the this is the big build-up right here. So prepare yourself. You know, we had players like Layun, we had players like Aguilar, Moreno, Jonathan Dos Santos, who personally was pretty high on my list. We also had players like Carlos Vela, who was a little underwhelming, but still, you know, he had his impact in certain games. So, number 3, we've already talked about this player. 22 years old, doing very well in Europe. Tecatito. Tecatito, there's so much you can say about him. We've already said so much about him. You know, he's just arguably the most exciting Mexican player to watch right now when you're thinking of someone who has a huge amount of potential. And I can't wait for him to move to a bigger club. And I know a lot of people give me a hard time because they say that Porto's a bigger club, but just wait. He's going to move to a bigger club after this. Number 2, we have Chicharito. Chicharito, who's been doing an amazing job right now with Bayer Leverkusen, even though he's kind of been on and off with the national team for the past 12 months. What he's been doing in Bayer Leverkusen has been amazing. He's just breaking records, and you have to be living under a rock in order to be able to avoid all the news that you're getting about Chicharito. So number 1, right here. I don't know if you guys are all ready, but the number 1 player, number 1 Mexican national team player of 2015, we have. There you go. Thank you. Andres Guardado. The Principito. I mean, just speaking from like a fan perspective, I mean, he's our captain. He's our deserved captain. It's impressive not only what he's done this year, but it's pretty impressive when you consider the pace and the spot that he was at with the national team last year. I feel as if last year, before the World Cup, we really didn't know if he was even worthy of guaranteeing a spot with M3. So it's kind of fantastic to see him not only gaining a regular spot with the national team, but also being, as I've mentioned, undeserved captain, and he's done excellent with PSV as well. So I mean, huge credit to Guardado. Huge credit to Guardado, who basically, I think he was arguably the best player during the Gold Cup as well. So, to you, Andres Guardado, player of the year for the national team.
There it is.
Amigo,
Jason also had a vote. Jason, can you put your vote up?
Yeah, I don't understand what happened. It seemed like we were pretty well set on this guy, but I don't know what happened with the voting. Something fell through the cracks. I'm not really sure what went on there. I guess consolation.
He scored a goal with the Chicago club, no?
I think he scored 2.
Yeah, 2, a brace.
He scored 2.
That indoor soccer team?
The Chicago Johnny, you don't know about the Chicago Mustangs? The professional indoor soccer team that travels as far as Minnesota and Cleveland.
I barely know Chicago Fire.
It's a TV show.
That's funny.
Cuauhtémoc played there. Cuauhtémoc played there.
Giving the Mexican Player of the Year for the national team.
Yeah, it's
Andres is a great guy. I've interviewed him quite a few times, and the leadership that he's always shown with the squad. And not only that, really, I think, to play in the Netherlands, which is a technical country, it's really helping all Mexican players out there who hope to get abroad. The PSV fans love him. He's done so well, and as Cesar mentioned, he led the way. He was stone cold, even when Mexico wasn't doing well in certain Gold Cup games. He put away every penalty. They can count on him every time. He is the team's heart and soul at this point of El Tri. And I think, I honestly thought Chicharito was going to win this. And, well, but really when it comes down to it, Andres Guardado deserved it more. And I think that it's absolutely correct that he won it.
There it is, guys. I would have thought also maybe Chicharito would get it just because of what he's doing in Bayer Leverkusen, and but Andres Guardado.
I think for me with Guardado, the impressive thing has been throughout all those coaching changes, from Herrera to Ferretti to Osorio, he's stood up and he's played well for all 3 of the coaches, and he's kind of been able to be, mentally strong and mature enough to kind of go through all that. And for me, he wins this award by a long way. Mm-hmm. I think he's been absolutely superb this year. I think the other mention is Paul Aguilar. I mean, mainly for that goal. I mean,
Because of his dances.
mainly for that goal and his dances. Yeah. But, I
For you,
mean,
That
Paul.
was a great goal. If we're just, looking at, goal of the year, then I have to give that one to Paul.
It's crazy to think about. Just like a couple of years ago, I mean, all the talk about whether Guardado even deserved a place on that World Cup team, and where we're at with him now, saying like, okay, hands down, almost to this point where, okay, Mexican national team player of the year, craziness. I mean, you saw it this summer. I mean, like, I don't think there's any question that Guardado was Mexico's best player this summer, and it wasn't even close. Like, he really just man of the match nearly every match for Mexico. I mean, just head and shoulders above everyone else, really.
played injured as well for those last couple of Gold Cup games. I don't know.
I thought for me it was also the way that he was able to take the penalty kicks in their Gold Cup.
That's an excellent point as well. Yeah, savior in the summer, man. Yeah.
Redoing it, and then he didn't miss. I think he missed one after all those PKs for his team, but then came back. I mean, it's just unbelievable how much he wasn't pressured at all. He just calm and ultimately having a captain that's there. So
Yeah,
I cheer for that.
And real quick, with his last months with PSV, I mean, I think his game in Old Trafford, which was a 0-0, it's not a spectacular result, but he was the best player in the theater of dreams. That's what you want to see from the captain of El Tri, to be big in the big stages.
Yeah, that match against Manchester United, it's difficult to sometimes the more exciting performance you see from players like Tecatito, Layún, Chicharito, but that one where he was just in the middle controlling, just the midfield, controlling possession. I think that was arguably one of the most enjoyable matches that I've seen from a player so far this year. No, it's a lot of fun for me, at least, just from a tactical perspective, just to watch Guardado. He's a fantastic player to follow. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, guys, those were the categories that we have, the presenters. But we do have 3 more categories that everyone has been voting on Twitter. Let's go to those now. Mr. Ivan, if you're there, to give us the results. Let's see if we... I know he was going in and out with some shady internet connection.
Yeah. Same here.
All right. Ivan, go for it. How did it go? Did you see any trends back and forth after you said something? Did it kind of change?
It's been pretty steady so far, especially with Tuca. So yeah, the funniest moment of the year is still Tuca hiding by a landslide margin, pretty much.
All right. Well,
although actually, some people did say that. What's that?
Some people did say that what?
Oh, that their funniest moment was the picture you took of the 2-0 once again at the Mexico USA game.
Oh, yeah, that was a fun picture. That's right, 2-0. They were keep going once again, and then I took it out. Not
Yeah,
really.
I think the thing with the Tuca Ferretti and if people didn't see Tuca hiding behind the he was in the Estadio Jalisco against Leones Negros. I think it was back in March, but he gets sent off from the bench because he was so angry. He got so angry with the ref. The ref sent him off, and then if you're not seeing it, you're gonna see it. But instead of going down the tunnel and going into the stand or whatever, he just peeks behind the opposition benches or something and starts watching the game. But for me, the hilarious thing was all the memes after, of ¿Dónde está Tuca and all this kind of thing, and all the pictures he was looking like a cat sneaking behind. But it was it was hilarious. Maybe we can post them on the Mexican Soccer Show Twitter account or something.
Well, there it is. The funny moment. The U20 bicycle didn't win. Tomás Boy Dance didn't win, and Tucas. What about Ivan? What about highlight of the year? Chicharito PSV tribute or Paolo Aguilar's goal?
That one, it was pretty. Let's see, we got 20 for Guardado, and second place at 36% of the votes with Paolo Aguilar's goal, and for, first place 41%. Say Chichadios.
Chichadios, everybody.
Adios.
He came back. impressive with what he's doing. Andrea, all the goals that he scored, what he's turned around, finally giving him minutes. Is it the highlight of the year in all of Mexican football?
I say that's a definite highlight in terms of redemption story for Chicharito, and especially with the reputation the Bundesliga has for being such hard-nosed, practical soccer. And I mean, it's hilarious every week. You know, they'll post the goals that the entire Manchester United team has scored, and then Chicharito's goals, just by himself, how many he scored. And for some weeks, he was outscoring the entire team. And I think even now, he's like maybe one goal behind. But this running tally, basically, like, you know, Manchester United got rid of Chicharito, and now he's scoring goals like crazy for another team in Europe. But I actually think it would be dangerous for fans to, you know, or even Chicharito himself to, you know, let that go to his head and think that he belongs at another really big team like Chelsea or something. He belongs at a team that values him and is willing to use him. And right now that's Bayer Leverkusen. And if he goes to another team that has that same, you know, shall we say, excess of players in which a coach can come in. I mean, Manchester United, you know, they're likely to move on to another coach soon. And he may have his own favorite brand of players, and he definitely has the money to put whoever he doesn't like on a shelf. And not give them another opportunity. And the same thing could happen at Chelsea. Who knows if Mourinho is going to stay the way things are going there. So if Chicharito's suddenly transferred there, I'm not sure it would actually be one of the best things for him. I think he could end up on the bench again, and then his skills get stale again. He's really broken through that wall because he's been able to play. And with that playing time has come, you know, his scoring touch and his confidence again. And at least for a while, I think he should stay where he is. Keep that momentum going.
Andrea Canales, go where you're going to get used. The person that gets used, Johnny, what do you think?
I think I like that quote.
Go, we're going to get used. I'm not sure how I feel about that one.
And on the
Go where you can thrive. Go where you can be an important part of the...
Ivan, on the last category, which is the game of the year, very, very tight between the CONCACAF Cup Championship between Mexico and U.S. and last night's game, Pumas versus Tigres. Ivan, what did you see and what's the final tally?
Is he gone?
All right. Is he there? Sir Ivan? There's just way too much going on in the social. Our backup.
Yeah. The results so far with the game of the year, it's CONCACAF Cup game between Mexico and the U.S. at the Rose Bowl, 52%. So that's the first place. And the second place, you know, is it's 48% for the Tigres Pumas. So it was, I think, out of the three polls that we did, I think this one is really, really close. Was really close.
Also, because we gave them less options. I'm not good at math, but.
Well, two is less than 3.
It's actually very, very, very even. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, guys, we're gonna decide between all of us who we can give the award to. So between Tom, Naive, Johnny, Jason, Cesar, and Andrea, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then I'll be the deciding vote. Out of those 2 games, ready, Andrea? Which one we should give the award to? CONCACAF or last night's game?
I say Tigres Pumas.
Tigres Pumas. Cesar.
I mean, because I'm a Mexican National League fan, I want to say, like, what meant more to me was the Mexico-USA match, but in reality, last night's game was more exciting. So yeah, Tigres Pumas.
Tigres Pumas, 2 votes. Jason.
Yeah, I'd have to go last night's game as well. Just the completely unexpected nature of that Pumas comeback. I think he got just so unreal that game. Got to give it to that.
All right, and Johnny Rico?
CONCACAF Cup.
CONCACAF Cup, all right.
Oh, Johnny.
Naive.
Strange for Johnny.
I gotta say the final yesterday at Seoul was special.
And Mr. Tom Marshall.
Doesn't even matter anymore, does it?
Doesn't matter.
I was going to say CONCACAF Cup, but we're already outvoted. Me and Johnny Rico in the corner swinging, but we've been outvoted.
Ivan may come back and be like the tying vote.
I wanted to
say like
do,
Morelia
I
Chivas or
said the
something.
CONCACAF Cup too. So there it is. I feel like last night's game was great, but I felt even maybe because I wasn't a Pumas fan or Tigres fan, but it was definitely very close. Just I think Liga and the CONCACAF, the way that it ended in Paulo Aguilar's goal was crazy. So great games, but I think we'll give it to the Tigres last night's match, and I guess it's also what Twitter voted, right, Naeem?
Yeah.
No, there it is. Close, even within ours, guys. Well, those are our three categories. Going over to the chats, lots of people still there talking about. Funny comments. Naive is the Mexican Guy Fawkes. Oh, man. Yeah, that came from Christian Ramos.
That's a good one. Keep it coming, guys. Keep it going, please.
Ivan versus Johnny, who wins worst internet connection? Lots of fun times, guys. First, I definitely want to thank everybody that jumps on in the night and goes on the chat and talks. Sometimes they argue, sometimes they make fun of us, but it really makes it special, especially when you guys are coming on and talking about us. Other awards that were given out by the Pancho Villas Army towards us. Best use of hair products. To me, thank you. Go ahead we'll give that. Also, and then best gringo guest was to Mr. Jason Margaret.
Oh, wow.
He's not a guest. He's a presenter, guys. But fun times, guys, with the show. That's it. That's all of our categories.
I have a couple of funny moments of the year. They're not that. I mean, I don't want to end this show with this, but I guess we have. I mean, I have a couple of funny moments of the year. You guys want me to read them?
Go for it.
That some of the fans sent in. All right. So we have one from Pedro Guerrero, who said Cesar's Twitter account because he's Mexican, so he's eligible for these awards.
Not the least bit self-serving either.
Yeah. Also, Johnny will like this one. It's from @DarthTwiggy1. He said, "Watching America fans make excuses for losing against Pumas. Are they serious?" We also have from Louis Tava, Manchester United's whole season. Not really involved with Mexican soccer. We have one from this guy's name is Johnny Rico. Johnny Rico or something like that. His funny moment of the year is Chivas. And mine, I don't know why I thought this was pretty funny. Actually, I guess it was a little sad, but it was I don't know why nobody really picked up on this. I guess because it happened a while back, but it was Ronaldinho when he was driving away from the stadium in the middle of Querétaro's playoff game.
That's a good one.
What about the Club World Cup?
What about it?
That's also what I said as well.
Yeah. I got some other ones that stood out.
Yes,
there
please.
was one from Duncan Tucker, and he said a funny moment of the year is with Cuauhtémoc Blanco's victory speech upon becoming mayor of Cuernavaca. He says, "Ya me los chingué." And then for highlight of the year, Cuauhtémoc Blanco winning the Copa MX against Chivas. That's a highlight of the year also from 2015.
Oh, wait, highlight.
Wrong button.
So funny moment and highlight, for Cuauhtémoc.
Very, very nice. Well, guys, fun show. We can't end the show. We got maybe 5 more minutes without just kind of discussing what happened in the last 3 days. I know our fans want our reactions, but really quickly, America, the fracaso sosote that they had at the Club World Cup, I think everyone was pulling for America, and it looked like America did have, dominating the game until that goal. Your thoughts really quick before we end the show? I know people are waiting to hear is, kind of outshadowed by yesterday, but I'm sure everyone would be still talking about what's happening with it.
You know what stands out for me, and I don't want to end this a bit negative, but why can't Mexican teams hold on to leads? You know, like you got Tigres 3-0 up, the best defense in the league by far. You know, 430 minutes without conceding a goal, and they lose 3-0. America 1-0 up against the Chinese team who are decent, but you know, America clearly are the better team. They can't hold on. You know, America against Pumas. You know, Pumas 3-0 winning in the first leg. Yeah, Pumas can't hold on, or almost couldn't hold on at home. It's like, what's the problem? You know, Mexico against the Netherlands in the World Cup, Mexico against Argentina. I don't know. I don't know if there's something wrong with the the way of playing.
Are you trying to depress us like the whole night?
Juan Carlos Osorio actually brought that up. I think it was in an interview recently where they asked him like, "What's the problem with Mexican soccer?" And I think that was one of the things they brought up.
Preaching FIFA.
No, he said it's just like, you know, the discipline at the end of those matches. That's something that Mexican players still need to work on in situations like that.
Speaking of discipline, are we going to talk about Piojo and Martinoli as something? Are we just focusing on the second half of the year? Because if we're looking at Mexican soccer, that's got to be like one of the biggest stories of the year.
Yeah,
El Tri loses its Mexican national coach because he has no discipline.
Okay. It looked like almost like the Fioca was the one who had less discipline. I watched that video. That was crazy. Yeah. That's all that stood to me.
If it had been Piojo holding back his daughter and telling her, "Please don't do this. This is not the way to behave and represent our family or whatever," then he would have kept his job. But it wasn't like that. You know, he was alongside her. And, you know, whatever she did, she's a kid and hormonal and, you know, a teenager. He's the actual national team coach and supposedly a professional. So, Johnny Rico, is he going to be successful now that he's with Tijuana?
He's also hormonal and acts a lot like a teenager.
It happened. He fudged him. We didn't see it. That was before the cameras were rolling. But
Winston was so heartbroken that day. He was like, you know...
I was very heartbroken.
Anyone that says Piojo Herrera punched Martinoli, I want them to provide me proof.
I'll give you proof. You ready?
Yeah.
He did it with Israel Marquez, which is the guy that runs the Mexican press. He did it with the actual FMF there. They didn't want to fire Piojo. Wasn't like.
Yeah. Oh yes, they did.
I don't think they did. No,
there
they were
was
also
a lot of pressure from TV Azteca. TV Azteca wanted him gone before the punch.
There was
already a huge campaign against Piojo Herrera by TV Azteca.
The fall guy.
Well, anyways, that was the highlight of the year. Let's go back.
I love the fact we're ending the show on this, like the award show. Just like any other award show. Let's end it on controversy.
Andrea Canales, you know we're going to talk about the fact that we went through another coach and what happened. But anyways, Tuca, let's recap. Team of the Year by Tom Marshall. If everybody has their puts up their winners with the picture that they have, that way we can do a recap. Tom Marshall had the Team of the Year, and it was Tigres. For those that are there.
It was, yeah.
There it is. All right. As we can see, Mr. Nope, not coming up. All right, Naib Moran had the Liga MX Player of the Year.
No, we got the Coach of the Year.
I'm sorry, Team of the Year, which is which was Tigres, as everybody kind of voted. Johnny Rico with Liga MX Player of the Year, Mr. Andres Pierre Gignac. There he is, Johnny Rico. Jason Markowitz had the U23 Player of the Year with Tecatito saying number 1. And ultimately Cesar Hernandez with Andres Guardado, the Eagle, flipping back and forth. There's Tom, finally. He puts in the Tigres. There it is, guys.
Which is why we named our own awards the Andres Guardados, because he was the Player of the Year for the Mexican national teams.
Yeah,
that made sense. Andres Guardados.
That wasn't a spoiler alert or anything.
I know. We're just going to continue to do that. Guys, well, we're going to try to do this. I can't wait for 15 years from now when we're actually doing it at the Chinese Theater in L.A. We have everyone join. We'll have a red carpet. So keep on following us. Keep on sharing our videos. One day we'll make it If not the Chinese theater, Club Tijuana. Tijuana right by over there.
For some Chinese food.
More than down with that.
Andrea, thank you so much for being the voice of the people, agreeing with every single one of
Almost.
the categories, almost.
Well, that's not typical of the people.
Naive. And the coach of the year, I disagreed a little bit. And I was
Alright,
also
there we go.
here to provide everyone a reminder of the low point for Mexico
I know.
this year, just to keep it real.
Thank you.
That
Johnny,
is
Johnny,
more-
you still have the Andres Pierre Gignac picture, just FYI.
Gotta get that out.
Well, as fitting as our producer has given us, the way we're coming out with this award show is the Tuca song and Tucanazo. I'd like to thank Ivan Afrozander on Twitter for doing all the social media posts, and also everyone that's on the chat that joined us. Over 75 people joined us at the chat at one point. So I think it's fair to say that this was a fun show. We'll keep doing these shows.
Was it at the start and then it gradually declined?
No, it actually went from 40 to 50. And there is Tuca. If you look at Jason's...
Just going to slowly creep behind these benches over here and watch the rest of this.
Very nice, guys. We were going to have more shows, but America screwed that up. So... So I think, guys, this is probably the last show that we'll have before I think it's, 25 days away, the clausura?
I think it must be. No, it's got to be less than that.
Yeah.
There's friendlies. There's friendlies in the U.S., so they keep an eye on that, no? There's, I think Chivas is playing in Phoenix, no?
Yeah, Chivas is playing Pachuca here in Phoenix, Arizona, at Glendale Stadium. I know there's a lot of games in the U.S. And then watch out for a couple of things for the Mexican national team. I'm sure there's already been something that leaked out, a green jersey that's going to come out soon, so watch out for that. And then also a schedule. The Mexican national team, I think, is going to release probably a game maybe in February or January before the qualifiers. We'll be excited to see. Possibly rumors out there that it could be Colombia trying to get that Juan Carlos Osorio. Ultimately, I can't believe no one mentioned Juan Carlos Osorio in any conversation at all. That's actually kind of funny.
It's too early.
Too early. As you can see, Cesar's all ready to go.
Sure.
Everyone has their Tom is lost. You can only see his head. Johnny Rico is being I guess he's I don't even know what that is, but a lot of fun.
He's nearsighted is what he is.
It's just nice, guys. It's been fun. Happy 2015. We'll have a special show coming up, obviously, at the beginning of next year. And just to let you know, this is our 98th show. We'll be having before the Mexican soccer show.
Yeah.
It would have been perfect
I brought us
if
a cake.
I made it at least to the Barca game. We could have done a 100th show at the end of the year. But thank you, America, for ruining in our scheduled program. After next year, we'll celebrate our 100th show, and we'll kick it off with the clausura. And obviously, with more to come with Mexico. A great year in 2016 with Copa America also, and I'm sure these guys will bring you more and more news. Cesar now changed over to whatever that is. Jason's got a nice
Your nightmare.
Johnny Rico with, oh my goodness.
Go. El Diablo Rojo.
Fun times. All right, guys. Enough from me, the Mexican Soccer Show. I'm Wiso. Thank you to FoodMexSource.com for giving us the platform. And obviously, thank you to all of you who keep watching and supporting the show. Follow us on Facebook, on Twitter, and definitely subscribe to the YouTube link. I'm Wiso for the Mexican Soccer Show. This has been the first annual awards. Like they like to say, good nights. And if you're at anywhere around the after parties, watch out for Johnny Rico because he's got the double horn down right now. So. And actually, Andrea Canales, there it is. Her cat. The cat will Cesar and DJ. Where is he, Cesar? If you can get him in the next 20 seconds.
Nah, she's gone. I can't do it.
All right, guys. Mexican Soccer Show ends for 2015. A little sad. I'm not gonna lie. A little sad that we're not gonna be able to see each other, but we'll be coming on soon. All right, guys. Mexican Soccer Show. Thank you.